So today I'm repairing the rear aspect of the car, just around the wheel arch. There's been a repair in the past which looked pretty good, but it recently just started to show up signs of wobbling, and you can see underneath there I've taken away the top of the paint, just using this little aspect attached onto my Dremel. It's basically sandpaper, and it's just going through it. I've also removed a bit at the top there and just tidying it up as well. So that repair probably extends from there all the way down to about there I think. But I don't take the whole thing off. I'm just going to repair the part which is damaged. So at this point what I've done is, just to recap, I've found some additional areas across there which I've polished down, removed some of the paint just to see what's underneath it. There's a lot of rust still on there, so you're looking at it's wondering why it's green. It's because I'm using some rust remover gel from Hammerite, which I've just painted on. It's green stuff. It just goes straight on, paint on, leave it on for about 20 minutes or so, and then wash it out with copious amounts of water. Then I'll be able to get a better idea of what else is going on. The door panels also succumb to a scrape across here, and there's some small chips on there, but I can do those on a different day. Today I'm just going to work on this small aspect and finish off the door sills as well. One of the problems with doing the door sills is you can only go up to about there, and as you can see this area will need to be sprayed as well, and I'll do that one today at the same time, possibly, or I might just leave it till I'll probably do it at the same time and blend it in, and then will delay me slightly on finishing off the bottom sill, but I can live with that. Perfect. I'll come back in 20 minutes and we'll continue with the video. That's where I am just now. So I've just washed away some of that gel and reapplied another coat of gel, and I'll try to get really close and you can see the difference it's made. It's just gone into all those little pits and cleared it. That's the ideal situation where it's just so shiny that it's just shooting backlight at you. I'm just trying to see if I can get it at a different angle so you can see what it looks like. And I think that's as good as I'm going to get it, but that's extremely shiny, extremely clean. And again, right at the bottom, a little bit of rust still in that bit, but again we just have to polish that off. The next thing I'm going to do is let it dry, and then I'm going to start applying the isopon. That's the isopon p38 applied directly onto the metal. I was wondering whether you put on a zinc primer before you put it. Apparently not. It just goes straight into the metal because it binds very well to the metal. At the bottom though, I've used some zinc spray just to cover that area which is not going to have isopon in it. So the bare metal is covered with the zinc spray. Now apparently you get different types of zinc sprays and the content of zinc varies quite significantly. Also, you have to make sure you've got a nice clean shiny surface, because zinc spray requires a good connectivity to actually work. So no rust bits, etc. Each time I'm learning a little bit more by doing these. So it's been 20 minutes. 20 minutes is the time for this to actually set. I probably put a little bit too much on, but it doesn't matter. You'll see the paintwork's heavily scored at the bottom, and that's because I've scored it with 80 grit. Now 80 grit's a little bit on the excessive side for this, just to get a grip, but it's COVID time, so therefore there's not much materials. I have to use the materials that I've got in the house. This is where I'm at just now. I've masked off some of the door, so I've opened the door and just put the masking tape across it just to cover up some of the edges. I'm not happy about this because that needs to be a little bit better, because otherwise the spray paint may not catch it. So I'm going to do that edge again, but you can see that I've tried to keep it sympathetic to the original shape, and that's the most important thing. Keep it sympathetic to the original shape. And I've used a 400 grit sandpaper to create a key for the for the paint as well. So normally you do it about, I think 320 is normally, but as I said, I've only got 400 here. 400 will do it quite nicely, I think. Cheers, bye. So now that's the primer on, and the car's ready to get painted up in about 20 minutes from now. So now I've applied 2 layers of lacquer onto the car. I'm quite happy with the progress so far. There's a lot of orange peeling, but as I'm going to polish that back down 24 hours from now, there's going to be 4 layers, another 2 layers of lacquer to go on, and I'm feathering it over here. So you can see a little bit, it looks a little bit orangey peely there, but it's going to feather into there, and I can put a hard line there because I want the edge, and again I'm going to feather it in at the bottom there. It's all looking a lot better, but it's getting there slowly. So what I've done now is I've used a wet and dry. I've just gone straight to 1200 as opposed to using maybe a 600 or so, because there wasn't much orange peel on it, and you can see what I'm trying to achieve is this flat kind of layer, and there's the orange peel there, you can see it. So I'm going to go back there and do a little bit over there, and you can see a little bit orange peel over here. So there's not much in it, but I'm very careful not to go around these edges, and you can see there's where my repair was. You can see the mark around it. So as I said, I'm just trying this out. This is the first time I'm doing these kind of things, so always good to you know, decide where you want to be. As I said, I'm just playing around with this, but I thought I'd let you learn from my experiences. So I'm going to just do a little bit more polishing, and I'll let you. So I've gone back with the polish. You can see a much more uniform appearance all the way through. As I said, I've kept away from this area here. I'm just going to do a little bit over there, just by just the edge of the block. Just try and keep away from going through the paintwork, and then I'm going to use the polish compound to finish it off. That's the compound polishing. Leave it in 10 minutes. We're using again the 5000 power cut by Maxolin. So it's diminishing grit. So basically it starts with larger particle sizes and then breaks down to very fine particles. Leave it on for 10 minutes afterwards and polish off, and we should get the result we're looking for. That's the final result of that repair. I'm going to go around it, and you can see I'm kind of happy with it, kind of not happy with it. Things that I don't like, they left a tiny mark somewhere. I'll find it for you. Blah, blah, blah. Can't really see it, but there's a tiny mark which I'm not happy with. The colour, it just looks a little bit less darker than the adjacent side. You know, you'd really have to be staring at it and really see it at a certain light to actually notice it. But you know what? It's one of those things that I will notice it. I don't know if it will just darken with time, etc. I'm not too sure, but listen, there you go. That's the end result of that job that we did.